Thursday night, it's back to class for thousands of Philadelphia students, and the royal family opens up a bit in the face of mounting criticism. Monica Malpass will report from London. But the big story on Action News tonight is the manhunt for a bomber bandit. He has robbed a half-dozen banks in the region in recent weeks. Authorities say he is bold, brash, and brazen. Action News reporter Matt O'Donnell is live outside the Federal Building in Center City, Philadelphia. Matt, what's the story?
Jim, the FBI office here in Philadelphia is investigating the possibility that there is a serial bank robber on the loose in the Delaware Valley. He may be responsible for 6 related incidents, robberies, in the tri-state area in the past month. All of them have involved a man fitting a particular description, and all of them involve a phony bomb. It's a spree of robberies, 6 of them. Each time, the bomb squad is called in to defuse a device that turns out to be a phony bomb. Actually, it's a decoy so the suspect can escape. August 11th, a phony bank bomber struck in northeast Philadelphia at the Mellon PSFS Bank on Knights Road. The next day, a second phony bank bomber, this one in Washington Township, New Jersey, at the Core States Bank on Route 33. Then, 2 more in Delaware, one on August 21st at the Wilmington Savings Fund on Marsh Road, the other on August 30th, last Saturday, at the Brandywine Commons Shopping Center in Tallyville. Finally, yesterday, 2 more bank bombs, 20 miles and 45 minutes apart in Limerick and Exeter Townships.
I guess you could say he's experienced in what he's doing. Must know how to keep a cool.
Limerick police say that because their suspect very calmly walked into the Commonwealth Bank on Buckwalter Road, got his cash, left a phony bomb on the counter, and slowly strolled on out. As in this surveillance photo, he's cool and calm.
Did not run out of the bank, walked out as though he came in here to do normal business.
It's the same description we got from police in Exeter Township. The Sovereign Bank off of 422 in Exeter was also hit yesterday, exactly 45 minutes before the Limerick Bank. And look at the Exeter Bank's surveillance photo. Looks familiar? Police are convinced he and the Limerick suspect are the same person. The Washington Township Bank robber seen here also bears quite a resemblance. The scope of this investigation goes beyond the tri-state area, in fact. The FBI in Philadelphia is investigating another robbery recently that happened in Maryland, and the description of the man and the MO that he used apparently fits the other 6. I'm Matt O'Donnell, live in the Action Cam in Center City.
Thank you, Matt. Deadly terror has once again torn apart the Middle East landscape. 3 bombs today caused mayhem and death in Jerusalem. 3 suicide bombers from the militant Islamic group Hamas blew themselves up on the city's main pedestrian mall, Ben Yehuda Street. 7 people, including the bombers, were killed. 192 others were wounded. It was a gruesome and chaotic scene as police and ambulances converged on the crowded street packed with Israelis and American tourists. The bombs were studded with nails to cause maximum injuries. Blood splattered the pavement and the facades of buildings. Witnesses say a girl's body was lying in an alley. The face was blown off another corpse nearby. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been visiting the wounded at hospitals. He said in no uncertain terms that Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat must choose between peace with Israel or peace with Hamas. Netanyahu said the peace process cannot go on unless Arafat crushes the terrorists. In Martha's Vineyard, the vacationing President Bill Clinton said that as well. The terrorists must be silenced.
The perpetrators of this attack intended to kill both innocent people and the peace process itself. They must not be allowed to succeed. Everything possible must be done to stop them.
Clinton said Secretary of State Madeleine Albright would still go to the Middle East next week, but this is the way the terrorists have prepared for her arrival. Apparently, the royal family has heard the pleas of their subjects to come out of seclusion and say something about the death of Princess Diana. Monica Malpass is in London and has the full story.
Queen Elizabeth has taken Prime Minister Tony Blair's advice and will come to London early tomorrow instead of Saturday to make a public broadcast of mourning. Today, she, Prince Charles, William, and Harry made their first public appearance outside Balmoral Castle in Scotland. They looked at the flowers left there by well-wishers. This comes after stinging criticism from the British press that has reportedly hurt the Windsor's feelings.
The Queen has asked me to say that the royal family have been hurt by suggestions that they are indifferent to the country's sorrow at the tragic death of the Princess of Wales. The princess was a much-loved national figure, but she was also a mother whose sons miss her deeply.
Prince Edward was the first royal to sign the Book of Condolence at James's Palace in London today. He later shook hands with some of the people in line.
I made all sorts of sandwiches.
Meantime, the lines are already forming outside Westminster Abbey, the site of the funeral Saturday. 2 to 6 million people are expected to pack the streets of London. These folks are willing to stage a 60-hour vigil, spending 3 nights outside to corner the best position.
If you come tomorrow, or if you come on Saturday, there's going to be a lot of people about. You're not going to be able to move.
You will see the coffin, but you'll hear the service. You'll be part of it.
Doctors in Paris today say bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones will need reconstructive jaw surgery to ever talk again. And officials investigating the wreck confirmed that they found a $205,000 ring in the Mercedes. Dodi Al-Fayed reportedly bought it at this Parisian jewelry store and gave it to Diana during dinner Saturday. The gold ring surrounded by diamonds was a specially designed friendship ring. Today, funeral planners also confirmed Elton John will sing his song Candle in the Wind at the services. He's rewriting the lyrics just to honor Diana. And rock singer Joe Cocker performed a special tribute to her last night at an outdoor concert.
You are so beautiful.
Back live now in London, Jim, and 3 more paparazzi are being detained by Paris police tonight. They knew that they were being sought and they turned themselves in today. Also, police here are very busy planning for security Saturday. Scotland Yard announced that 7,000 uniformed officers will be in central London during the funeral. They'll be stationed every 5 yards apart, and hospitals are also on a peacetime alert in case there are any medical emergencies in the crowd. Jim?
Monica, there are reports here that there is a growing sentiment in London and other parts of Great Britain that Charles should step aside and that Prince William should be next in line for the British throne upon the death of Queen Elizabeth. Do you hear that there, or is that something that a reporter picked up and decided to write about?
Well, Jim, we're not hearing that specifically, but we are seeing some signs that Charles is showing a bit more emotion than he has in the past. Usually he has a very stiff British upper lip, but he is the one who's been convincing the Queen to come around on some of these issues. He's convinced her to speak out. He's convinced her to make a radio broadcast tomorrow night and to come to London a day earlier. He's also helping console William and Harry. He's the one that suggested they walk behind their mother's coffin. So he is showing some emotion. I think the people here may be reconsidering their thoughts about him, and in fact the opposite, thinking he may make a good king. Jim?
Monica Malpass reporting live from London. Thank you, Monica. Of course, ABC News coverage of Princess Diana's funeral begins at 2 a.m. Saturday morning. The funeral itself begins at 5 a.m. with uninterrupted coverage until the funeral's conclusion. Farewell to a princess right here on Channel 6. In other news tonight, a stalking suspect is behind bars in Wilmington, Delaware. Police say they caught him in the act. And Delaware correspondent Lauren Wilson is live in Wilmington's Brandywine Park with the full story. Lauren?
Jim, a man on a prison work release program allegedly attacked 2 women here at Brandywine Park. He's in jail, though, tonight thanks to some quick work by Wilmington police. Women walk and jog in Brandywine Park every day. This morning was no different until one woman noticed a man who was following her a bit too closely here on South Park Drive shortly before 8 a.m.
She felt someone come up behind her. She turned suddenly, fearing for her safety. She started to run, and the subject behind her took hold of her, grabbed a hold of her, and tried pulling her pants down.
Police were surprised to learn the would-be rapist picked a victim with a dog.
She unleashed the dog, and the dog went after the suspect, and he ran.
Lieutenant Sanghouse says just 30 minutes later, a detective driving in the area spotted the alleged attacker, this time on the opposite side of the Brandywine, North Park Drive. The suspect was said to be so focused on his second victim, he never noticed the police car following behind.
The subject actually looked like he was reaching out towards the jogger as if to grab her. Detective Burke immediately took a hold of the subject, took him into custody, and brought him into Central.
Back at Central headquarters, Sanghouse says police got another surprise. The suspect had just been released from the Plummer Work Release Center, a halfway house, at 6 a.m. 41-year-old Thomas Disharoon, who has an extensive police record, was supposed to be looking for work when he was allegedly stalking women in Brandywine Park today. These court records also show Disarun was referred to a sexual disorder clinic in 1992. Now, police don't know if Disarun had other victims. That's why they aren't releasing his picture yet. They want to put him in a lineup. They do know he is not Wilmington's serial rapist. That man is believed to be still on the loose. I'm Lauren Wilson reporting live on the Action Cam in Wilmington.
Thank you, Lauren. Dr. Jack Kevorkian has helped a woman from Upper Montgomery County commit suicide. Action News reporter John Rollins spent part of his day talking to the woman's children in Salford Township.
It was quiet at the secluded suburban home of Carol Fox. Her two children said their attorney advised them not to talk to reporters today, but her daughter did say she loved her mother and indicated she respected her decision to commit suicide. Family friends say it was the body of 54-year-old Carol Fox that was found yesterday inside this suburban Detroit motel. Dr. Jack Kevorkian was present at the suicide. Fox's family had traveled to Detroit with their mother. News of the assisted suicide stunned neighbors.
I was really surprised.
She gave you no indication she had contemplated this?
None whatsoever.
Attorney Jeffrey Feiger represents both Kevorkian and the Fox family. He said Carol Fox had been in tremendous pain from the advanced stages of ovarian cancer and did not wish to continue suffering. Friends say Fox, who operated an insurance office from her home, battled cancer for 3.5 years. They say last year, during a period of remission, she traveled extensively and had visited with her family. However, recently, the cancer reasserted itself with a vengeance. Neighbor Al Shaner said it became clear Fox was in great pain.
She did what she felt was right, and I respect her feelings. You know, that she did what she wanted to do, and I wouldn't want to suffer.
So you understand the motivation?
I understand why she did it. I have a relative that died from cancer, and it's a terrible death.
Doug Hendrick remembers Fox as a deliberate, well-ordered person.
Yeah, I don't think this was just a decision made a week ago.
This was something she had been thinking about.
I think she had been thinking about this for a while.
Fox was a member of the Little Zion Lutheran Church. Some time ago, she had discussed suicide with her pastor, but had never signaled her final intent. A memorial service is planned. John Rollins, Channel 6 Action News.
More to come on Action News tonight. Up next, a big setback in efforts to end the walkout by Catholic high school late teachers in the Philadelphia Archdiocese. And later in sports, the Eagles try to find a way to beat Green Bay. Gary Papa has the details.
Record cold this morning, and we could have more record cold tomorrow morning. Stay with us for that AccuWeather forecast.
Miss America festivities continue in Atlantic City. That and more when Action News continues tonight.
Hello, I'm Rick Williams. Tomorrow morning on Action News, it's TGIF, tributes, ballet dreams, and a very special race on the Schuylkill. We'll show you great ways to spend your weekend.
For the latest in news, weather, and traffic, watch Action News tomorrow at 5:30 a.m.
Announcing Ford's factory authorized clearance.
Best time of the year to buy.
Now is the best time to get the one you want. Like Ford Escort with low 2.9 financing for 48 months or $1,000 cash back. Or get a Ford Ranger with 2.9 financing or $1,000 cash back.
Big selection, big savings. This is our biggest event of the year.
I would hurry.
It's back, it's big, it's what you want. Ford's factory authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
You're the one that I want.
Seaman Furniture's Labor Day sale is going on right now. There are reductions on full room packages and individual pieces for every room in your home. Now's the time to buy that new dinette or to redecorate with the new living room package, all at affordable Seaman's prices. And best of all, now is the time to save because you'll make no down payment, no payments, and pay no interest until $19.98. Get the furniture values you need with no payments until January during the Labor Day sale at Seaman's Furniture.
25 years together. They've just flown by. 25 years of kids, jobs, moving. I didn't just want to bring her back to her favorite place. I wanted to give her something she's only dreamt of.
The 25th anniversary diamond. Show her you'd marry her all over again.
We could not deny the RAV4 our top ranking.
The RAV4 breaks expected molds.
The RAV4 rides a great deal better than many a sedan.
Handling in both RAV4 models is excellent.
The all-new RAV4 recreational activity vehicle starts at only $15,118. Maybe we should start calling it the Rave 4.
Driving it is great fun.
The strike by lay teachers in the Philadelphia Archdiocese continues tonight despite efforts to get contract talks back on track. Lay teachers at 22 Catholic high schools went on strike yesterday, 1 week after their contract talks broke off. The two sides resumed their negotiations this morning in Wynwood, but the talks broke off again late this afternoon. The major sticking points: wages, hours, and working conditions. Union officials are now writing a letter to Anthony Cardinal Bevilacqua asking for his help in solving this dispute. Negotiations between high school lay teachers and the Camden Diocese broke off today with no settlement in sight. Teachers agreed to work without a contract as long as talks were underway. The union now plans a rally Monday night in preparation for a strike there. 8 high schools and nearly 5,000 students would be affected by a walkout. Students in the Philadelphia Public School District returned to the classroom today. A banner was unfurled on the roof of Olney High School to welcome students back. Olney and Audenried in South Philadelphia were targeted by schools chief David Hornbeck last year for the Keystone Plan. Under the plan, 75% of the teachers at those schools were supposed to be moved because of low student test scores. The teachers union fought the move and won. Most of the teachers are staying put, but there will be curriculum changes at Audenried and Olney. Summer officially came to an end today for students in the Chester Upland School District. Students at Chester High School joined hundreds of thousands of students in the tri-state area in heading back to school today. They had to find their way to a new classroom and spend some time catching up with friends, old and new. Still to come on Action News tonight, progress cleaning up toxic Superfund sites in the state of New Jersey. Governor Ridge takes to Pennsylvania's highways and byways, and the Miss America hopefuls raise the roof at the Hard Rock Cafe. Gary Popper says Reggie White is coming to town, and Dave Roberts has that weekend AccuWeather preview when Action News continues tonight.
What'll it be?
Burger and fries.
All we got is TDN Light, Cash 5 Combo, Jackpot Sampler, and Instant Treat.
I'll have a Jackpot Sampler.
Okay, then.
Hey, you don't eat them, you play them.
New value price ticket combos, wherever you buy Pennsylvania lottery tickets. Order yours by number today.
Something funny happens whenever I go shopping. I love it, but do you really need it? This would look great in the living room. Visit Marshall's today for beautiful home fashions for less. You won't believe how much I save. Marshall's, brand names for less. Every day.
Every 3/4 ounce Kraft single is made from 5 ounces of milk. How do they do that?
The dairy fairy glides into the kitchen and pours milk onto the cheese. Then she uses her magic wand to make it all smooth.
Kraft singles taste the magic of milk.
If you've been waiting to buy a new minivan, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $1,000 cash back on Caravan, or pay this low price for our 7-passenger Caravan, making it the lowest price minivan in the industry. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Chestnut Hill College Accelerated Program allowed me to complete my degree in under 2 years.
I just could not believe you could do this in 15 months.
I work in Center City, about 5 minutes from the train station.
Very convenient for working.
There's a wide range of course study here.
The counselors would sit down with you. They had exactly what I wanted.
Faculty is very user-friendly. Class size is nice. It offers the student interaction.
More affordable than a lot of other colleges.
Help is available, so you don't have to worry about it.
Definitely recommend it.
I would definitely recommend.
Positively recommend Chestnut Hill College Accelerated Program.
In words, how happy I am.
New Jersey is making progress in cleaning up its Superfund toxic waste sites. That's according to the survey by the Environmental Protection Agency. New Jersey had 116 sites, the most of any state in the country. The EPA says 11 Superfund sites have been deleted from the list. 105 have undergone what they call significant progress. Senator Frank Lautenberg says the report proves that the Superfund program is effective in helping to clean up the communities. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge kicked off the first leg of his bicycle tour today in Scranton. Over the next 2 days, Ridge will travel 115 miles in the eastern part of the state. And during the tour, Ridge will promote tourism and travel. He is down there somewhere. The governor also announced today that $2.5 million in grants have been awarded to heritage parks across the state of Pennsylvania. Now, the Phillies took care of the defending world champion New York Yankees.
A little parallel
now it's
here.
the Eagles' time to take care of the Green Bay Packers.
The defending NFL champions. Thursday at practice. What's the story at the vet? Well, Barrett Brooks. How would you like to be him this week? Because he's got to play Reggie White. But in fact, everybody has got to watch Reggie. So says fullback Kevin Turner.
Somebody got to be accounted for on every play. And they got a really good defensive team. I think they only allowed like 16, 18 touchdowns last year, something like that, and which is outstanding. And they get a lot of turnovers. They get their offense the ball back, and they create a lot of things because they have confidence in that their offense is going to get some points, and sometimes they take a few more risks.
Yeah, last year the Packers defense ripped through the Eagles with ease. Out to Green Bay where the Packers ran over Chicago just like that on Monday night. Gabe Wilkins will score right here against the Bears. He says the way the Eagles have their offense is not that good for the Eagles. It might be pretty easy for the Packers with their offensive schemes.
I think the running plays, the things they try to do offensively, kind of play into what we do. But, you know, if we handle ourselves, you know, well and just shut the run down, I think, you know, we'll be fine.
Green Bay, a 7.5-point favorite on Sunday in the Eagles' home opener. Flyers today with their annual golf outing at Harbor Pines in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. John LeClaire is here in the woods. He's trying also to get a new deal from his $1 million a year contract. He wouldn't talk about that. Not a great shot you can see here, but he would talk about the upcoming hockey season.
With a new coach and a fresh few faces here to help us out, I think it could be I'm looking forward to the season. I think everybody else is.
And then there's Rod Brindamore, offered to Tampa Bay in a possible trade for Chris Gratton. He says, you know what? I've heard this so many times.
But trade rumors always seem to follow me, and ever since I've been here, and you know, I don't want to go anywhere, and I've made that known, but, you know, we seem to bring in more centers every year, and there's only so many that can play, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. And, you know, these things I can't control.
Off he goes. Flyers camp opens up next Tuesday. It's that season. And Gordie Howe, coming back to hockey at age 69. He'll play one shift for the Detroit Vipers in the International Hockey League. That's so he can say he played in 6 decades. Phillies tonight at Montreal. Matt Beach, one of the best pitchers against him, will be Pedro Martinez. He has an earned run average of 1.63. Last night, the Phillies and the Yankees tied at 4, bottom of the 9th inning. Bases full of Phillies. Mike Stanton walks Tony Barron. 5-4 Phillies. They finish off the sweep of those New York Yankees.
We did a tremendous job this week. A lot of people did a lot of great things, or we would have never beat a team like that.
Tonight, the Phillies at Montreal, and the Sixers today signed Terry Cummings for about 2 years, a total of $2 million. He is a 36-year-old, 6'9" power forward. Last played at Seattle. He says, I'll be a veteran leader on this team.
I think there's more than enough talent on this team with Larry Brown and his crew here, and bringing in a little bit more veteran leadership. It's going to just really bring the glue about to the team and make it a better team.
He says he'll be part of that glue as the Sixers sign Terry Cummings today. We'll have some Philly highlights at 11 o'clock tonight.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Still to come on Action News. How cold will it be tomorrow morning? Dave Roberts has the answer with the help of AccuWeather when we continue tonight.
Isn't it time you replace that tired old mattress? Well, Nationwide Discount Sleep Center's Labor Day mattress sale is going on now. Save hundreds on Sealy, Serta, Simmons, and Spring Air mattress sets. And make no deposit, pay no interest, make no payments for 1 full year. Nationwide also gives you a free bonus bed frame, plus free delivery and free removal of your old bedding, too. Now, how do you make your dreams come true? Nationwide Discount Sleep Centers.
Let's start with the facts. During our 97 clearance sale, you can get the best price ever on the Hyundai Accent. The Accent starts at just $7,599. The Accent has more power than Geo Metro or Ford Aspire, more room inside than Tercel, plus a better warranty package than Ford, Chevrolet, or Toyota. And with all those advantages, the fact is the Accent costs over $2,000 less than Tercel. Those are the facts. And the only way to check them out is with a test drive. Driving is believing, so get the facts and the best price ever during our 97 clearance sale.
When your suspension starts to go, ouch, go to Meineke. Quality shocks, struts, and CV joints, all at that great Meineke price. So avoid headaches. Meineke has it under control.
At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Question over here.
Our customers are looking for rate reduction. When and how much?
We will give the customers lower rates, and in fact, immediate reductions, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10%. ending up with the largest upfront reductions of any utility in the country, the largest average reduction over a 10-year period guaranteed of any utility in the country. And people will see PECO Energy's commitment to its customers to meet their needs and expectations.
Dave Robertson, the Yankee, with a forecast.
A real taste of fall early this morning. Some record lows. Let's check them out right now here in Philadelphia. Officially 52 degrees. We tied the record. That was set back in 1954. Cold start. Wilmington, a new record low, 47. Pittsburgh, 42. Newark, New Jersey, 52 degrees. And Baltimore, 50. Plenty of cold air around. High pressure now just kind of bending down into Ohio and Indiana. Cool air is in place. Another cold shot again tonight when possibly we could set still another record low. 72 degrees in the Carolinas, 64 up there, a little bit cooler up in Boston. This high pressure system just continues to sag to the south toward the Carolinas, and we stay in the pattern of that system. Here's the satellite picture. You see the movement now is we just have some light cloud cover and we clear out in fine style. As a matter of fact, just about the entire eastern half of the country doing that. Folks down in Florida have a few problems down there. All right, the call from AccuWeather is, looks like record cold again. It's 60 in the Poconos, 66 in Allentown. Go down to Cape May at 65, 67 degrees Atlantic City, 52, 7:08 this morning tying that record. Our high 70 degrees came a little bit after 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're live at Sky 6 down at the Jersey Shore. Present temperature reading is 69 degrees. Humidity 35%. The barometer 30.00. It's on the rise. Winds out of the northwest. 16 miles per hour. Got some gusts 25 miles per hour. The ocean water temperature is 70 degrees. In the northeast, 68. 70 outside the station. 70 for Center City. The official number 69 at the airport. And Camden, 68. The exclusive AccuWeather 5-day forecast, clear and chilly, 46 to 52 degrees. The record low in the morning is 53, set in 1994. Could have another record here. Breezy and cool on Friday. We're up to 76 degrees. Here comes that warm-up. Mostly sunshine Saturday, 82. Warmer on Sunday, partly sunny skies. We're up to 84 degrees, and then 80 and 84 as we come out of the cold weather. Clear and chilly again tonight. Another cold start to the morning come tomorrow, Jim.
Thank you, David. The 51 contestants in the Miss America pageant are busy with rehearsals, but they are taking some time out for some all-American fun. The contestants spent part of their day at the Hard Rock Cafe in Atlantic City. They had lunch, enjoyed the music, and took part in a Hard Rock tradition by dancing to the song YMCA. The new Miss America will be crowned September 13th, and it'll all be broadcast on Channel 6. The World News Tonight is next. For the entire Action News team, I'm Jim Gardner. We'll see you at 11 o'clock tonight.
Closed captioning provided by Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
The most watched station in the Delaware Valley, 6 ABC.
It's Designer Sportswear Week at Ross. So, what do you think? Never miss it. Save, save, save. Aren't you? No, we're not famous. No, but our clothes are. Got it at Ross. Designer Sportswear Week at Ross is really big. You won't believe the savings, up to 70% on the top brands. Does your boss know you're here? Do you? Absolutely. Designer Sportswear Week at Ross. Don't you just love it? There you have it.
From the day our children enter school to their graduation as young adults, New Jersey's public school teachers work hard, teaching them the value of hard work, thinking for themselves, and the skills needed for a successful future. That's why 92% of our seniors pass the new rigorous test required for graduation, and 80% of our high school graduates plan to continue their education more than ever before. New Jersey's public schools, working, improving, achieving.
You see moments you want to share. Your camera needs film to capture them. We can satisfy both of your needs. This week at CVS, get double prints on a free roll of film. Yesterday was full of games. Today is simply full. You can handle it.
If you want more standard power than Accord and Camry and more passenger comfort starting at $16,695, then you want Ford Taurus.
This is the car I wanted. The right price, the right time.
Now is the time during Ford's factory authorized clearance. With $1,500 cash back, Ford Taurus is clearance price starting at $16,695, nicely equipped.
It's safe, it's powerful, and it's affordable.
Ford Taurus, the one you want during Ford's factory-authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
On World News Tonight this Thursday, the British royal family under siege. The Queen will now go on television to talk about Diana. The terrorists strike in Jerusalem again. 7 people are dead, nearly 200 injured. And can the IRS be forced to stop abusing ordinary taxpayers? Sam Donaldson talks to the man who will try.
Taxpayers that have been abused, harassed, and intimidated.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. The news today is marked, as it is so often, by violence, a terrorist attack in Jerusalem. And in a minute, we'll try to understand what effect that will have on the U.S. effort to make peace between Israelis and Palestinians. But the news is dominated again today by the wave of resentment and anger against the British royal family that has spread across Britain as a whole. The Princess of Wales, Diana, this one individual, it turns out, was more central to the British public than many of them had imagined. And we'll deal with that at length tonight. To begin, what the world's most important royal family has been obliged to do in the face of public pressure. ABC's Jim Wooten reports from London.
In several remarkable ways today, the royal family responded to the country's growing unhappiness with their silence and seclusion. First, returning from private worship in Scotland, they allowed themselves to be photographed viewing tributes to Diana left outside their castle. The Queen, her husband, Prince Charles, and his sons had not been seen since Sunday. It was an awkward mixture of genuine grief and posing for cameras.
Nice to see you, sir.
As further evidence of the family's sensitivity, Prince Edward and Prince Andrew, Charles's brothers, mingled with mourners in London today. And it was announced they'd signed the condolence book inside St. James's Palace. Moreover, the Queen has decided to address the country tomorrow, a striking concession for a monarch who normally speaks on television only on Christmas Day and at the opening of Parliament.
The Queen has asked me to say that the royal family have been hurt by suggestions that they are indifferent to the country's sorrow at the tragic death of the Princess of Wales.
There have been unmistakably angry headlines in the London papers, criticism on the BBC,
but they wanted to hear from her.
And in the streets, scathing commentary on the Queen.
Now she probably feels a bit guilty and makes her feel so she's got to say something now. We feel that she should have done it sooner.
It isn't early, it's too late. It really is.
I think it's far too late now. I think after this, the royal family is going to take years to rebuild.
Even the absence of a flag at Buckingham Palace has drawn fire in the papers. And as the controversy continued, details of Diana's funeral were released. There will be readings by her sisters, who, with Prince Charles, claimed her body in Paris, and by her brother and Prime Minister Blair.
Seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind.
Her friend Elton John will sing this song, written originally for Marilyn Monroe. Now with new lyrics for Princess Diana. He talked with Barbara Walters for tomorrow night's 2020.
What's the first line?
Goodbye, England's Rose.
And how does it end?
Your candle burned out long before your legend ever will. So it's 3 verses about her, and it's a beautiful lyric, and fitting for her.
While the service will be televised, the royal family has insisted there be no pictures of them inside Westminster Abbey. Still, they have offered one significant other surrender to public opinion. Over Buckingham Palace on Saturday morning, where the Queen's standard usually flies when she's in residence here, there instead will be the Union Jack lowered to half-mast as a tribute to Diana. That has never happened before. Peter?
Thank you very much, Jim Wooten, outside Buckingham Palace tonight. Another example of how the British public will have its way. The initial agitation for a moment of silence at Diana's funeral will now give way to what amounts to a complete halt to all commercial and athletic activity in Britain on Saturday. Here's ABC's Judd Rose.
Workmen are unloading the security barriers, cleaning the street lights, and building the platforms. And with 2 days to go, the first of a crowd that may number as high as 6 million are getting in place.
I haven't felt this bad since my mother died, and that was a long time ago.
Never seen anything like it, and you're unlikely ever to witness it again.
London will virtually shut down during Diana's funeral. Movie theaters, stage shows, betting houses will all go dark. And Harrods, the famed department store, will close on a Saturday for only the second time this century. This American was in London when it was bombed in World War II.
This is like when we went through the Blitz. Everybody united.
With all the floral tributes, London flower shops are straining to meet the demand. And Diana souvenirs have all but vanished.
Sold out on Sunday afternoon.
Diana books are flying off the shelves.
Well, this is where the books were. As soon as the news broke on Sunday, people were coming in and just buying the books immediately.
And of course, television. There are estimates that the audience could be 2.5 billion worldwide. That would easily surpass the current record holder, 700 million, established in 1981 for the wedding of Charles and Diana. All in all, it will be a blend of grief and grandeur that's likely to stay in our memories for a long time.
I've never done anything like this before, and there's never been a woman like Diana before.
Judd Rose, ABC News, London.
With all that is going on, we will be back in London tomorrow night to prepare for the funeral on Saturday. We will have extended coverage, which will begin at 5 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday and continue. And when we come back this evening, we'll have some of today's other news. The terrorist attack on a crowded shopping mall in Jerusalem. Another rough day for Vice President Gore. The Senate focuses on his campaign fundraising. And then we'll go back to St. James Palace for stories of grief and outrage.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Kellogg's.
Hey, Frankie, want some Danish?
No, man, I already got it.
Complete bran flakes.
Mm-hmm.
What's something wrong?
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah?
They took me off ladders. I eat lousy. I haven't been working out. I'm not a rookie anymore. I gotta do something.
Thousands of people have started turning their lives around with 4 little words. Kellogg's Complete Bran Flakes.
I guess you're gonna toss that.
No, I'll give it to the rookies.
Kellogg's Complete Bran Flakes. It's a start.
Arthritis pain, it's a part of my life. That's why I keep Advil close by. You see, it stops minor arthritis pain where it starts. Nothing's proven to work better or last longer than Advil. Nothing.
Advanced medicine for pain.
Neutrogena T-Gel Dandruff Shampoo. Recommended #1 by dermatologists. It works. Handles any type of dandruff symptom from mild to severe, controlling dandruff and other itchy, flaky scalp conditions. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo.
There are no rest stops in life. Great moments fly by 1,000,000 miles an hour. But that's okay, because with its more powerful engine and refined suspension, new Camry owners are in for one smooth, comfortable ride. The new Camry. Smoother, more powerful, better than ever.
And now to the latest terrorist attack in Jerusalem. At least 7 people, including 3 suicide bombers, were killed. Nearly 200 people were injured, including some Americans, when the bombs went off at a shopping mall. From Jerusalem, here's ABC's Linda Patillo.
The bombs were studded with nails, apparently set off by the suicide bombers within seconds of each other. Hundreds of shoppers and tourists were crowded in the pedestrian mall, lined with shops, cafes, and American fast food restaurants. 12-year-old Moshe Abramson was in the Dunkin' Donut shop.
Oh, it's here, and I don't want to get hurt anymore. I'm afraid if there will be another bomb. Please help us. Why did I get the blood?
Among the injured Americans, Greg Salzman, visited in the hospital by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who called the young man's father in New Jersey.
All right, your son is all right. He's next to me. He's a little shaken, but he's going to be all right.
Later, Salzman told ABC News that 10 minutes before the blast, his companion had seen a man he now believes was one of the bombers, a man dressed as a woman.
I said, that's odd. I never saw that in Jerusalem.
Shortly after the attack, a caller to a French news organization claimed responsibility on behalf of the military wing of the Islamic group Hamas. American intelligence sources tell ABC News there is evidence that members of Hamas had been discussing plans to conduct dramatic terrorist operations because of Secretary of State Madeleine Albright's visit here next week. Those sources also say it appears the bombers have received help from Hezbollah groups in Lebanon and possibly Iran or Syria. Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat today insisted the bombers had not come from territory he controls.
I condemn completely these terrorist activities.
Empty words, say Israeli government officials. They are still furious that just 2 weeks ago, Arafat publicly embraced the political leader of Hamas.
They brandish their guns, and the worst of it is that Arafat personally hugs and kisses the Hamas leaders.
The cycle continues. The Israelis, who had just begun lifting restrictions on Palestinians after the last bombing, have now imposed them again. Linda Patillo, ABC News, Jerusalem.
President Clinton, who was vacationing on Martha's Vineyard off the Massachusetts coast, condemned the bombing, but said it would not delay Secretary of State Madeleine Albright's trip to the region next week. Here's our White House correspondent, John Donovan.
Mr. Clinton aimed some not-so-veiled criticism at Yasser Arafat.
And the Palestinian Authority, through concrete actions on its own and continuing work with the Israeli authorities, must do all it can to create an environment that leaves no doubt that terror will not be tolerated.
Aides say that Mr. Clinton does not blame Arafat for the attack itself, but they do blame him for not doing enough to crack down on groups that espouse terrorism. The Secretary of State today.
Security cooperation must be accompanied by unilateral Palestinian action to preempt terror, destroy infrastructure, as well as to create a political climate where there is no tolerance for terror.
Security cooperation is virtually the only bargaining chip Arafat has. He holds back from working with the Israelis on security issues when he's unhappy with the negotiating process. Today, a senior administration official called this, quote, a terrible strategy that hands the moral high ground over to Bibi, a reference to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Of course, Netanyahu also exasperates U.S. officials, but they're rarely quite so public about it. While the U.S. opposes, for example, the settlement that Israel is building in disputed territory, that message is usually delivered behind closed doors. As a senior administration official said this evening, the president cannot get up and criticize the Israeli government on a day when Jewish blood has been spilled. Palestinians will ask, what about the rest of the time? John Donovan, ABC News with the president on Martha's Vineyard.
Late today, Palestinian security forces said they've arrested 2 leaders of the Hamas movement and will start arresting others for, as they put it, plotting against Palestinian interests. In Cuba today, an Italian tourist was killed when a bomb went off at the beachfront hotel where he was staying. There were smaller bombs at 2 other Havana hotels as well. When we come back, why Vice President Gore is shunning the spotlight.
The Service Star and Coast to Coast Great American Fix-Up Sale. A Vermont American Laser Saw Blade, just $5.94. GE Silicone 2 Caulk, $6.94. The things a do-it-yourselfer needs are at Service Star and Coast to Coast stores.
It's time.
Time?
Time to check out Flonase.
Flonase?
Flonase nasal spray.
Flonase nasal spray.
Ask your doctor for a trial of Flonase.
Good idea.
Flonase nasal spray.
I'll check it out.
We all reach out for something only a company like Travelers can provide.
Whether it's life insurance or long-term care to protect you today or annuities to enrich your tomorrows, Travelers Life and Annuity. We give you something to hold on to.
You are what you eat. You are also what you feel, what you think, what you do. You are what you say and what you hear, what you give and what you take. Take Nature Made vitamins, because everything in life helps make you what you are. Nature Made, recommended by pharmacists, made for a lifetime.
To celebrate 30 years of surprising winners, Publishers Clearinghouse is waking up 30 winners in 30 days. That means there'll be more screams, more cheers, more hugs, more smiles, more tears. What will you do if you win?
Oh my God! This is wonderful! Oh my God!
Enter the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes today, and soon you could wake up a winner.
Wish you could unlock the secrets to happiness? Science has found keys, and they're not what you think. John Stossel shows you how you can get it. The Mystery of Happiness, tonight. It's the end of a fairy tale and a ceremony we will all share together. See it with Peter Jennings, Barbara Walters, and ABC News, live Saturday morning at 5 Eastern.
In Washington today, they have resumed Senate hearings on campaign finance abuses. The focus today, Vice President Gore and his role in a controversial fundraiser at a Buddhist temple last year. ABC's Linda Douglas report tonight. This is not the type of attention Mr. Gore would like to be getting.
Al Gore started the week publicly relishing his role as vice president and front-running presidential candidate leading the Labor Day parade. But by last night, he'd gone into the bunker, rushing past reporters in his motorcade. This after the Justice Department announced it will review allegations that Gore illegally raised campaign contributions. Today, he refused to answer questions at a public event, and reporters were kept away when he went to the British Embassy to sign the condolence book for Princess Diana.
Do you solemnly swear?
Then came this spectacle, Buddhist nuns testifying on Capitol Hill about a Democratic fundraiser held last year at their temple in California. Gore was the star attraction. More than $100,000 was raised, much of it from monks and nuns.
You simply approached the first monks and nuns that you saw and asked them if they'd be willing to contribute $5,000. Yes.
But then the temple illegally reimbursed several of the nuns. And one nun testified through an interpreter that when news stories about the temple broke, she took steps to cover up the evidence.
Developments were unfolding so fast that I really got nervous. So I decided to destroy some of the documentation and make some new entries in the books.
There is no evidence that Gore knew about the reimbursement scheme. Plus, he insists he didn't know the event was a fundraiser in the first place. Still, an investigation into all of this could threaten one of Gore's most important political assets, his squeaky clean image. Linda Douglas, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials lost about 27.5 points to close at 78.67. On the NASDAQ market, stocks gained more than 6 points. When we come back, Sam Donaldson on reasons not to trust the IRS.
Heart and soul.
Good news. The FDA's confirmed that soluble fiber from oatmeal as part of a heart-healthy diet may reduce the risk of heart disease. It's nice to know that while Quaker oatmeal is good for the soul, it may be good for your heart, too.
If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand.
Peace of mind from Buick LeSabre. Temporary relief isn't enough when the problem's here, and here. Now long-term help is here. Glucosamine chondroitin from Sundown helps your body repair and rebuild cartilage. Repair, rebuild, renew.
Right Incorporated. Hi, Mr. Wright. Sure, just 1 minute.
Hello, everyone. I've had to cut my vacation short. I'll be in the office in
10 minutes. See you then.
Ericsson mobile phones. That's the power of voice.
I just love doing that.
Well, I was in the neighborhood first, and Dave came up to see how I did get such a good lawn.
I went over and I peeked into his tool shed, and he was using turf builder.
Dave's secret is to follow whatever I do. Any spot you look is nice and green and thick.
With last year's drought, our lawn still came right back because we had good root structure.
I would never consider using anything other than Scott's.
I have the best lawn in the neighborhood.
I think Brad has some nice spots on his lawn, but I think overall I have a better lawn.
Those campaign hearings you've just been looking at have not produced the kind of public outrage that many people, including numerous politicians, hoped they would generate. But there's going to be a different set of Senate hearings beginning soon that just might get more attention. Here's our man in Washington, Sam Donaldson.
ABC News has learned that the next big Senate investigation will zero in on the Internal Revenue Service. Later this month, the Senate Finance Committee will hold 3 days of public hearings into alleged abuses by the IRS. Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott says people will be shocked by the things the committee has uncovered.
Taxpayers that have been abused, harassed, and intimidated. Taxpayers that have paid money that they didn't owe and the IRS has refused to give it back to them. A long list of examples.
Yes, Stanley McGill was 93 years old and senile, as the courts later agreed, when he wrote a check to the IRS for $7,000, which he didn't owe. The IRS cashed it anyway. McGill died, and when his daughter asked for the money back, the IRS said no, even though they acknowledged he didn't owe it, and the government has kept the money to this very day. In another case, the IRS went after a tax preparation company for suspected wrongdoing and put pressure on 7 of the firm's employees to testify. 5 employees who refused immediately had their personal tax returns audited. The 2 employees who did testify were not audited. But the real shocker in the hearings, according to Senator Lott, will be allegations that such abuse is actually encouraged by agency officials.
We're going to hear from agents that talk about how they are actually encouraged to do some of the threatening and intimidation of taxpayers in the IRS.
Do you think that you're going to be able to demonstrate that there is a systematic pattern of misconduct?
Yes, no question about it. There clearly is a pattern of misconduct and abuse and intimidation, and that seems to be the mentality. This is our money, and we're going to get it from you any way we want to, whether you like it or not.
An IRS spokesperson told ABC News the agency is cooperating with the Senate committee, and it will reply to Senator Lott's allegations directly if invited to testify. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, Washington.
Thank you, Sam. One other note of widespread interest from the government today. The Social Security Administration says it's going to try again to let people use the Internet to keep track of what benefits they will get when they retire. The government, you may recall, first launched this site in March, but closed it down because people complained that sensitive information was too available to everybody. When the new site opens in January, the government says that security will be better. When we come back, we'll go back to London.
I used to take Pepsid AC. Then I learned Tagamet HB200 blocks stomach acid faster. Why? More acid blockers. Both are strong. Tagamet's faster.
Tagamet HB200. More acid blockers help block acid faster.
Nobody can resist giving a hint to Heloise, so once I started talking about natural organic Alberto VO5 hair dressing, I got letters. You know VO5 keeps hair shiny and manageable, but it also works wonders on rough, dry hands. The natural conditioners protect leather, shoes, and bags. And it even gives your pet's coat a healthy shine. Hey, maybe they should call it Alberto VO105.
VO5 hairdressing, natural hair care, and so much more.
My doctor said I didn't need surgery for my hemorrhoids, and to use Preparation H. For my problem, Preparation H is so effective. It helps relieve all these symptoms. Yet it's so gentle, it soothes and protects. More people trust doctor-recommended Preparation H.
Once again, there are so many Diana-related stories today. A jeweler in Paris confirms to us that a $200,000 diamond ring found in the wrecked Mercedes which carried the Princess of Wales and her companion Dodi Fayed to their death had been purchased a few days before. The jeweler says it was a friendship ring, not an engagement ring, which Mr. Fayed bought. It all adds to the legend. We also learned today that the Royal National Institute for the Deaf had turned down a request from some journalists for lip readers, so the tabloids could figure out what the royal family was saying during the funeral service. Finally, it is not hard to get the impression, at least from here, that what we have here is a very rare case of the British people versus their own royal family. Perhaps because Diana so easily bared her soul to the public, which the royal family has otherwise been unable to do, the public has given its heart to her. Here again is ABC's Aaron Brown.
This is what it looks like when a nation holds awake. Cecilia Hammond and Douglas Ballander joined the line this morning.
Well, I've been since Sunday morning really trying to come to grief, you know, terms with this grief. And I can't. So I'm here.
Because to be with other people is helpful?
Yes.
I wanted to sign that book, and if we've got to wait 24 hours, I'll wait 24 hours. I don't care how long it takes, just so we can pay our respects.
Though they'd never met, over the next 5 hours, they become friends, sharing their grief over Diana's death and their anger at the royal family.
You know, when they took her title away, why didn't we all stand up and say, what the hell do you think you're playing at? You can't give somebody a title one day and snatch it away the next. It's not a bag of sweeties. You know, they were so cruel to her.
In this mostly working-class crowd, no one complains about how long it's taking. It's been more than 2 hours now. And again, we are told she really was the people's princess. If it had been a tragic accident and Charles had died,
would the people be doing what they're doing today?
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't.
When they are told the Queen will speak on TV tomorrow, they only shrug. It's just because she's read the papers.
Well, you give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to go on. I don't want to go on feeling bitter. I want, you know, I need to heal.
After 5 hours on the line, now close to the end, it gets silent. It's just about their turn, and they are asked what they're going to write.
Darling Diana, I am drowning in a river of sadness for you. God bless you, Cecilia Hammond.
They enter the chapel and do what they came to do. Grief, we are reminded, is better shared, and what better place to share this grief, this sorrow, than walking down the line. Aaron Brown, ABC News, London.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. We'll be back in London again tomorrow for the funeral on Saturday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow night. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
I just can't stop thinking about that girl on the train.
Dharma Finkelstein.
Dharma Finkelstein?
Yeah, I know. My dad was Jewish, but he wished he was the Dalai Lama.
Wait until you meet Dharma and Greg 2 weeks from Wednesday.
Action News at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow on 6 ABC.
Good evening. It's time for the live lottery drawings for Thursday, September 4th, 1997. Tonight's drawing official is Bob Eisman, and our witness is Helen Crabb. First, the daily number. Draw the first digit, please. 9. The second digit. 2. And the third digit. 9. Lottery drawings are audited by Boyer & Ritter, certified public accountants. And now, Big 4. Draw the first digit, please. 4. The second digit. 1. The third digit. 7. And the fourth digit. 3. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. And now, cash 5. Select 5 numbers from 1 to 39, please. 24. 29. 9. 36. And 2. Tomorrow.